Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good? What's good? What's good, everyone? I know I sound a lot different. I sound a lot different. Camera a lot different. As you know, it's Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do my part, be with the wife and the family. But I got a very, very special guest this time. I got the to Iisha Morrison, one of the titans on the women's
Oh,
side when it comes to this
dude.
Cowboys community. Yes, you're doing that thing. Go ahead and introduce yourself. My bad.
No. Go on.
Oh, keep going. Yeah, hey, one of the, like I said, one of the woman titans, black woman doing her thing. She's on DLLS. I think she's on, was it Girls Talk, Boys Talk, the podcast. Listen, football mind. Hey, it's out of there. I'm telling you everything. I think I first got introduced to you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw you got like featured on with Foots. I'm like, she was just talking like going over the draft picks. I'm like, man, she saw that too. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Go ahead and tell the people. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see me? Am I cut off?
No, you. I mean, it's a little. Your forehead. It's like your forehead cut off. My
Not my
bad.
forehead being cut
Yeah.
off. Is that better?
There you go.
You-
There you go. That's perfect.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Listen. I have never used this before, so just.
Hmm.
But yeah. I am Iisha Morrison. That's Iisha with two eyes, and I just love football, man. I'm still fairly new to this game. This is my third year kind of doing this. And oh, thank you so much for the respect. I appreciate you. I definitely, we were talking offline beforehand. It's like, I appreciate what you do as well. You make football digestible with how you break down the game. And I think we need more of that in this business. I'm honored to be on. It's been a long time coming because the sister's been busy. But I'm
You
so
know,
happy to be
yeah.
here.
I very much so appreciate it. Listen, you already know it. We got to pay some bills when we get in here, y'all. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like wherever you're watching for us. Share the content. We are 30 subscribers away from the big 1K. You feel me?
Go.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we moving on up on you know what I'm saying? We went moving on up. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. But listen, let's get right into the ball. Because,
Okay.
like we said, Commanders game yesterday. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me just come off and say I was on Team Tank. You know what I'm
I'm
saying? But
excited.
I do play devil's advocate a
Okay.
bunch, so I will listen to the other side. I understand the other side. Shout out to my mamas in the building. Shout out mama. But I was pro Tank. I wanted to lose, but I want a competitive losing, and I'm also here to evaluate the young guys because I understand of this current climate. There's going to be a new coach, and I'm here. I'm already started my draft content, but I want to know the guys who, who wants to fight for a spot, who got the skills that are translatable to
Hmm.
another coach. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, um, that's what I've been watching. But if a win came from that, I just want I want to be able to pick first. But going into the game, talk about what you've been looking for. Now we're in this different type of climate with the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh man, I've been on the same energy you're on, evaluating, and I don't know. I think it's so crazy because I'm sure a lot of people look at this time as just like throwaway time and all this stuff. But for me, I hold a deep empathy for the game and what the game brings. And with these players, I think in the tank conversation, I think something that's getting lost is like these are real people.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And whereas we feel like it might be in the overall team's best interest, and I mean the organization,
Hmm.
to tank and to not finish out the season, that's not what is in the interest of the 30 plus free agents on this roster. Um, I just think like sometimes we gotta take ourselves out of it and remember there's bonuses at play, there's incentives at play, there's
Right.
contractual agreements at play. A lot of these guys know, yes, there is a new coaching staff coming in. So he may not like what I do. He may not have a use for what I do. And so when you talk about roster turnover, we know this coaching staff, a lot of these guys on 1 year deals, these guys are looking forward for themselves as well. Some of them, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And so, what's up? So that's just something I feel like we have to consider in these conversations. I think it's very easy to forget that, like, yo, these is real humans with families, and you just talking about your mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
you just got to remember that part of things. But to answer your question, I have just been evaluating. I think this is a very unique time, um, and a very, I think it can be a special time when you see a guy like Josh Butler, when you see TJ Bass go out there and put some good reps together. Austin Richards dealing with a high ankle sprain now, but
Hmm.
showed you some things like, okay, this might be a legit swing tackle. You know,
Right.
it is. Whereas we look at it as a terrible time for some of these guys, this is the most playing time they've gotten their whole career, and it could be defining for their career.
Right. Um, you said a lot of great things right there.
My bad. My
No,
bad.
no,
I
no,
got
no, no,
out
no, no,
on
no.
my
You're good. No,
run.
no. Yeah, I know. You right there. Look, I get excited as well. I get like hearing Marshawn Nealon coming back from the injury report. Like I got so excited because like rookies like him, he needs the reps. I need to see, did this injury really take a toll on him? And then plus like because like him getting this injury, I didn't want to sound like negative, but he was bound to get it because they put so much of the workload on him. Because they said coming in, he wanted to use him. I think like it was Zim. He wanted to only use him by like 30 to 40% of the time. But as you know, situations went awry. We lose we lose Sam Williams in the camp. We lose D Law and we lose Micah, and now his reps are going up tremendously. So I feel like that was a lot of stress on the body of a rookie who's not fully into his man body just yet, who's just
Right.
still getting the feel of the game. And I really do appreciate when him coming back. This is you're right. This is very much so very important. Just getting reps. Just it's not even that. Like okay, Zim is not here, but I'm gonna tell you who's gonna be here next year. Mike is gonna be here. Overshawn is gonna be here, and you're building that stepping stone of chemistry.
Right.
I think that's
No,
huge.
yeah, you're correct. It's like you are building the foundation, and that's another thing that plays into the tanking thing. Is like, what precedent are you setting if your foundational players aren't playing like strong in these games? Because there might be
Right.
some college rookies that you're possibly looking at that are watching that might get drafted,
Exactly.
and that's the
Hmm.
tone that you're setting, that your stars are not. So I've been pleased to see CD Lamb playing full speed, the starters on the offensive line playing full speed, the defense, like there's guys, these guys are they understand the circumstance. I'm sure they do. You lose your quarterback, man, like, let's just be real here.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's
Like,
very
like
deflating.
it's
Yeah.
not that normal to lose it. This ain't the Eagles back in 50 whatever million years ago at this point. This
Hmm.
is like, if you lose your quarterback, 9 times out of 10, people start making plans.
Right.
People start calling their real estate agents.
Right.
People
Right.
start, let's be real. So for me, I'm like, I don't know. I think they know what the circumstances are, but them going out there and playing hard, especially on Sunday, I don't know. I thought it was cool to see. I was happy to see them, and you could tell from the reactions on the sidelines. Like, I know sounds from the sideline gonna be lit. Like,
Yeah,
lit.
because they ain't had a job for the last couple of weeks. They just been chilling. They just been chilling.
Nah, don't say Alex like
No,
that.
oh yeah, he been keeping them. The archives is very big. I know it is. He got
Right,
weeks and
right. He
weeks. Yeah,
got crazy B-roll. So,
I know he finally get hit that publish button. I know he do.
man, listen,
Um,
but
but
yeah, go ahead.
we can stay right there because I know last week y'all deal with the news and everything like that on DLLS, and some topics that have been coming up this season is about how like we don't have any leaders, and like the stuff Mike have been saying, stuff CD's been saying. I want to focus on them too because I feel like what I saw in that game was very monumental. Like for me, I think they both just need to shut up for the rest of their career because it speaks what they're doing right now speaks volumes.
Yo,
Like they need to start just leading with actions only. I think because like the fact that they're like CD is getting up with a bad back, getting up with like he's knowing like he's going out there. He's still like finding like a source of like encouragement, a source of like want to and a why to still go out there and fight week in week out, knowing that the season is lost. I really do commend CD for that. I know why Micah is out there because I tweeted it. Like I was like, "Hey Micah, yeah, get that set, get that, go on, get paid, go on and have the Joneses break that bread, go on, yeah, for real. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want Micah out there. But I'm talking about for
Right.
CD. CD got the bag. He's not and he's still not content. I do question his attitude during the game, but I feel like this right here is very much setting a foundational level of respect for the guys that's been here and the guys who are coming in because they're seeing that you're still fighting even in the midst of a lost season.
Yeah. Number one, I think it's important that we not look at leadership in a vacuum. It looks different with totally different people. You never know. I agree with you that I think that silence is the best answer because it takes time. Like as someone that is in the media and I'm still learning, it
Mhm.
takes time to understand what can be said and what can't be said, and just how to convey what you're saying in the most polished way as possible because everybody and their mama is going to analyze it.
Right.
Like it's a difficult place to be in, to have to always look at every perspective that someone can take your words. So to me, with the players, as they develop, as they learn, as they mature, they'll get better at that. But some of these younger guys, I'll be sitting there stressed out because I'm like, baby, I know, baby, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. They don't get it.
Hmm.
They're not hearing what you are saying. So I don't know, as far as the not talking, I think that's the solution with certain things. I agree. But I will say, yeah, seeing them both still play hard the way that they are is encouraging. I mean,
No, what I mean
it's
by not talking, sorry to cut you off,
no,
but I mean by like when Micah said what he said,
mm-hmm.
I from like as a former player, you knew it as well because you know that angle. I knew exactly what he meant, from the get go.
I did too.
But that's
Exactly.
and I think he's only a man. He acts on the action, and he probably been showing his action this entire season, but everything else is probably getting overlooked. And the action he's been showing is the only angle he know, and that's what comes out of his mouth. But the problem is the media is they're going to come at it from different angles, because that's their job. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like from like when what he said, it came from a pure heart. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And even CD, during the playoff game or during early in the season when he was pouting, it coming from a play of heart because he just wants to make a play. He wants to show his love. You know what I'm saying? He can't. He's not, I think they're the type not to be able to verbalize their love. They're the type they want to show it. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time to learn how to express your emotions. It's not an easy thing to do. So I don't expect for them to know how to
Yeah.
do it right away. But anyway, I do think, like I said, like I was saying before, I do think them coming out playing hard, showing some grit, some toughness. I think that that is something that is transferable and is something that can be spread amongst the locker room with the right people. So, and as far as their leadership skills, I just, I don't know. Would you consider, no, I'm just being honest, would you consider Aaron Donald a leader? You
Yeah,
would. The guy that was on
I
people after
would.
games and hitting people with helmets and all those things. It's subjective. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Hmm.
some people would say that's not a leader.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. It is subjective. It's what you like.
But he played hard.
At the end of the day,
But he played
yeah.
hard.
Hmm?
But he was one of
He
but he was
played
one of the
hard, but I
best.
know he commanded respect. You know what I'm saying? Like he's leading. I mean, if he's galvanizing the guys around him, if that's his tactic of way of going about it, it's a way. You know what I'm saying? We gotta respect
Yeah.
that way.
I'm just like,
So
I don't
I
know.
feel you
I
on
just
that.
think it's a toss up how people view leadership and what it
Yeah.
is and all those different things. Um, yeah, it's not my business. There we are.
Yeah, it's a spectrum. But like, okay, so those are things I did like. Let me tell you the things I
Hmm.
didn't like. Well, not like say I didn't like. I'm just really irritated they didn't even want to do it until now. Cause I,
Oh
um,
yeah, go ahead. Out.
how should I go about it? No, let's start with the positive. Um, let's start with the defense because I feel like the defense has been, even though like everyone is wanting to get rid of the whole staff, I felt like I've been very quiet on it. It's been a thought in my mind. I felt like Zim needs grace, and I felt like he's been doing a great job because I'm seeing when I'm looking for a deep coordinator, I'm trying to see a system in place if the guys are in the
Mhm.
right position. So when people were saying, "Oh, we're still not, stopping the run, we're still getting hit on the edges," I'm looking and I'm seeing, I'm going through. Okay, does he have the D tackles? Are they playing there correctly? And then who's on the edges? Are they showing effort? Because at the end of the day, that's what half of the defense and stopping the run is want to and effort, and that it's can
Mhm.
easily be seen on film. And I
Mhm.
really, caught a glimpse of that in the Atlanta game when, um, you know, we gave up the touchdown. I believe who was it? It was a wheel route, and Trayvon Diggs didn't carry it,
Yeah,
and
I
he was
remember.
like, and Zim came to the podium. He was like, "Oh," he said,
They
"We
were
were in
in man.
man." He was like, "Well, he was in man. That was his job." And
Yeah.
I just said, like, this team has immature problems, being like, we got problems that we should have been fixed in, what I'm saying, camp. But it doesn't matter, but because the system was right there in place, they just had to do their job.
Right.
So all in all, I'm saying, what is your thoughts on Zimmer? Like, how? Because I know, I've been very impressed with this defense, especially in the first halves of every game. What
Mhm.
What are your thoughts?
I would agree that when you look at a Zimmer system and how it works and how it actually works, like you have to have a strong interior. You have to have guys that can hold up double teams. And to start the season, you really didn't have that, in my opinion. I don't think that you have it right now. But I do think that it's getting better. We are seeing better play from Mozzie. Carlos Watkins gives you some good reps. You know what I'm saying? Like Linval be stressing me out. I'm not gonna go there today. But but you know what I'm saying. And then also too, I think that they found some respectable play on the edge with Golston. Carl Lawson plays the run pretty well as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that they're starting to get it, and I agree with you. I think in general they're starting to buy into the system. I would bet that by the end of this year, the Cowboys will probably be like middle of the pack with some of the metrics that they're last in right now if they continue to play the way that they've been playing, because we're starting to see a trend of them being able to get to the quarterbacks, them forcing turnovers. Like I think you see some confidence, to your point, in the
Mhm.
system and how it's working. But you also see what lets me know is that Zim is starting to trust these guys a little bit more too, is the uptick in stunts and some of the blitz combinations. And he's definitely found something with Amarion Overshown,
Mhm.
um, and his ability to rush the passer. I do think that there's some comfort in the play a little bit more at this point. So even the secondary, I mean, it's been kind of chaotic having guys
Mhm.
in and out and stuff, but I think your safeties are starting to wake up a little bit, just a tad bit. Because baby, safety and defensive tackle, key,
Hmm.
two key positions in a Zimmer system, and both of those positions you started off this season weak at. And I'm gonna be real with you, because I wasn't impressed with Donovan Wilson's play. It's
Hmm.
been better this last couple weeks. Wasn't impressed with Malik Hooker's play. I just felt like they weren't in sync. They just seemed like they weren't getting it. Their feet looked like they were in the mud a lot. But you're starting to see them fire off the ball and be a little bit faster, which lets me know that they're getting what they're doing. So I would definitely grade them on a curve. But I also think that it took this defense some time to understand his system, because it's considerably different than what Dan Quinn was asking of them, man.
Mhm. Oh,
It's
because it's
not
more
just
thinking.
like a
Yeah. Yeah. I
it's
mean,
not
I
just
mean,
an
cause
easy.
like, yeah, 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 yeah. Cause I mean, cause I think the theme of Zim's defense, why I love it, cause it's the theme of it is disguise. So it's
Yes.
like he's giving. I bet he's giving in probably like two or three calls at a time. Or, like he's telling his groups, the safety groups are holding like he's giving them three calls. I know he is. He's probably giving them something to line up in, giving them something to show, and then giving them some like giving their their assignments. And they got to communication is key because they got to switch off and everything like that. That's why like I didn't trust our safeties coming in because he likes to the roof of the defense tells it all. Like I keep going back to that video of Cam Newton when he was breaking down and how he came to the line immediately. His eyes went to the safeties because the safeties tell everything about the defense. And I felt like if we have a safety that can cover and don't like to be in the box versus a safety that likes to be in a box that don't cover, when we rock and roll, no one's gonna respect us, and they're going to call it out, and we're not gonna be able to run it, functionally. And I just felt like, you know, that's why I felt like all in all, yeah, we have to grade Zim on the curve. I also feel like there's some things that's happening with this defense that's out of Zim's control. Like, of course, injuries. I don't
Oh,
believe the best guys are playing. In my opinion, we're gonna be. He doesn't have the horses to race, and you're seeing it because his his game plan is only holding up for a half in a lot of these games, and that's the difference between you having the guys versus the guys on the other side. They're having like better talent because they can last 4 quarters versus a guy who can last a simple amount of reps like a Linval Joseph. He can only give you about 13 good reps a game. That's the difference, and I felt like Zim. What he at the end of the day, I'm seeing a system. I'm seeing a commitment to change up and simplify it to a bit. Like I'm seeing effort from Zim.
mhm.
Like I said,
Yeah, oh, I agree. I agree. He is manufacturing stuff that's really not there. It's honestly impressive to see, but you see, even so, like I was looking at yesterday, how Jordan Lewis, how Josh Butler, how these corners, how Deron Bland, how these guys came up and tackled on the edges. That's like they're playing for him right now. They are like I believe that they really are starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the system. I'm not sure how likable Zimmer is,
right.
but they seem to start if they're seeing the results of trusting his system, and I think that that's important as well. So
Hey man, shout out to Coach Marv with the $2 holla saying salute. Shout out to Coach Marv and everything like that. But yeah, that's on the defense. I'm very impressed. I'm happy for like guys like you said. It's gonna like I hope we can keep a Jordan Lewis. I really do because he's an attitude player, and I want that for my team. And Chauncey Golston, I'm very very happy for. I posted a video clip like 2 weeks ago when we were placing the Niners. Trent Williams literally pick him and throw him like 5 yards, and he's still in midair trying to make an effort and still makes the play. It's like I was saying, like people was like, "Oh, we're not good enough to stop the run." No, stopping the run is a want to. You
mhm.
have to refuse to be moved, like to give up this gap. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's go on the other side. Let me go home to my side of the ball, the offense, because I don't know. Let me say I have a little allegory that I felt for this game, and I feel like we've been the offense has been victim of this entire year. I feel like what's wrong with this team and why we've been winning. This like during the game, I would say this is something called a team continuity winning bank account. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's say you got three people staying in an apartment: offense, defense, and special teams. Right?
Mm,
Every time it's the first of the month, rent is due. Everybody got to do their portion. Everybody got to do their portion. What I found out a lot in these games, I feel like when it's time to pay rent and time to do the do,
mhm.
offense is like, oh, I don't have, I just been chilling. You know what I'm saying? They coming up, and defense is having to pick up extra jobs, getting turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Contributing more to the bank account, and I seen it in this game. And special teams doing what they do. They not doing it. I'm seeing defense is the only one. By the time it's to the second half, when special teams want to wake up and get a possession, when the offense want to finally, you know, have the ball for more than 3 seconds and two drives, and like yesterday, we seen it yesterday when we got a drive, we were rolling, and then Jaden Daniels go 80 yards in one play. I felt like your defense was exhausted
Yeah.
from you because you already had them on the field for 70 plus reps.
Mhm.
They're exhausted and they have nothing left to give. So when you already look into them for help, it's like, man, I already gave, like, you already covered for you in the first half.
Yeah.
And I felt like we're still lacking continuity, and I very much blame the offense. What I saw yesterday, I appreciate them finally leaning into the run game more. Finally,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm gonna just stop there and let you go about the
No,
offense.
no, no. You was let me know, man. I agree. I was fussing about that last week. I was like, man, this offense has to reward this defense. Um, I will say that I am trying to temper my expectations because Cooper Rush is at quarterback,
Yeah.
and Cooper Rush is at quarterback. So you're in a tough situation where, and I'll give credit to Cooper. He took some chances yesterday. I thought that he made some good throws. I feel like he was far less late. Like he did have some late throws, some behind the throws, and stuff like that. That's just kind of what he is. But I think that he made some big throws when he needed to. He took some chances. He didn't put the ball in harm's way really like that, and I think that's all you can ask for from a backup quarterback at the time. At this time, I will say in regard to the run game. Zach Martin's been banged up quite a bit this year. Obviously, Tyler Smith is dealing with something. He's been dealing with something for a few weeks. And I think that that is shown in the run game as well, that these guys weren't 100%. And that's not any fault of their own. They're out there playing, but the movement wasn't there. I saw a play last week where freaking Tyler Smith comes around the formation to trap, and
Yeah.
he's pulling.
I know what you're
He
talking
couldn't get
about.
there,
Yeah. He couldn't get there. He
and
couldn't. Yes.
he's one of the most athletic guards in the NFL. We know what he's capable of. We know the footwork. We know how he can get out in space, and he couldn't get there.
Right.
Zach Martin getting blown. People doing ghost hands at Zach Martin. I'm about to throw up. I So I will say I think they were able to do some of the stuff they wanted to do in the run game because you just had two healthier guys out there, and that's okay. You know, Tyler and Zach Martin need some time to get better. That's cool, but the push on the interior that um, Jesus, BB,
And
TJ Bass, and Hoffman got,
Hoffman. Yep.
the way they fired off the ball together in unison is, and I will say another thing, and this is a shout out to Jess Navarez on Girls Talk Boys Talk. She mentioned that, hey, that unit, that interior unit, they play together in preseason. They
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
together.
They have reps. Yeah.
They have reps together, so you see a little bit of that. Now, obviously, Hoffman's not a center, but they have mixed and shuffled in college, in camp, and in practice. So I think that there's some unison there between them as well. Like the way they fired off the ball together, I thought that was some of the best run blocking we've seen all year. And I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, you 100% right. Like I I was shocked by Hoffman, especially because Hoffman
Oh,
even in the preseason was not.
he's so much
Maybe
stronger
he
at right guard.
Yeah,
He's so
maybe
much
he
stronger.
don't need to be worried about hiking the ball and getting to the quarterback and moving on forward because he's more explosive with his hand in the dirt. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I saw a play like DMV tagged me in. He was like, "Oh, look at Hoffman on this play." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, that man simultaneously stepping with the left foot on the left zone and getting that post foot in the ground and literally passing off a block to Terrence Steele at the same time low, and there's a guy stunting over into his gap because he's on left, and he knocks that D tackle back and he throws him for a couple of yards. I'm like, I ain't never seen Hoffman do something like this. So I never. He's always been a hat on hat guy. He get there, he stop his feet. You know what I'm saying? So he got him though. He got him. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate it. So, but like,
Man, Hoffman acting different.
yeah, Hoffman. No, Hoffman. I was watching the game. I'm talking to West Coast Cowboys. I'm like, man, Hoffman out here. Yeah, out this game, the pads are popping. It's just a rivalry feel in the air. He was swinging on people. I was like, yeah, that's the greatest I've been wanting to see because I just been feeling like Zach Martin is like, I'm just trying to get to the end of the season, get his last check, and I'm feeling I love me some Zach Martin. But you're right,
Oh,
maybe
man.
it's the lack. Yeah, I love me. I really do hate this. Hate this organization. They keep wasting primes, but that's another conversation for another day. But I kind of agree with you. It's new legs in there. You know what I'm saying? Continuity. I also feel like we don't have much of a big, I don't have much of a repertoire to give you like, straight statistics facts, but I feel like our best running games we can say is versus Pittsburgh and what happened yesterday. And I just found like what's in common was we stayed with it.
Yeah.
we
Oh, I
stayed
agree.
we stayed with it. That's my thing with McCarthy. It's not the run game that's the that's dangerous. It's a team's commitment to the run game that is dangerous. Like it's not money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of you know what I'm saying. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And when you are committed to it, when a team is trying to get somebody to get stop running the ball, they're trying to break their will and trying to make them second guess. It's all in the mind. So,
Mhm.
and I feel like McCarthy just never had trust in games. Like it was a game versus Atlanta. He runs like a simple zone action. Guyton misses his block. It was over Grady's Jarrett, and he goes away from it. It's 4th and 2. That's when he run that famous, uh, you know, jet sweep with CD. And I was like,
Mhm.
man, you literally got afraid because your rookie just missed one block. Stay with it. You know what I'm saying?
How I
I,
felt yesterday. That's how I felt yesterday when they had that third down. It was like 3rd and 2, and they did the freaking jet sweep thing to CeeDee Lamb. I'm like, why are y'all overcomplicating these 2 yards? You've been moving these people off the ball all day, all day. Even if you haven't been able to score, you guys have been consistently moving these people around. What are you doing? I hated it.
I hate it. Like you can't convince me that this man is doing a good job this year. I will argue to the death for me. He has 2 rookie offensive linemen, and this man is passing the ball. He was passing the ball 30 to 40 times a game. You having your offensive linemen be on their heels and having to sort out pressures. Duh, the opposing team is going to send number, stunts and blitzes after them and making them think. Because when you making somebody think on a football field, they're not moving. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that's been McCarthy's biggest issue this season. He's not having his team attack the defense. I know it's simple said. I know it's simply said. And I felt like when he does call a run play, he's not, it's never a plan. He overcomplicated. Like I saw a play yesterday, 4th and run. I think we go single back. I saw we crowd the line, 22 personnel, right? They're overloading the strength of the defense on the left. And I'm just counting the offensive. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the fullback. They have an extra, 2 guys. Why are we running this way? Why not check the ball this way? It's not
Right?
this hard. Like
No.
the best coordinators in the world, the best coaches in the world, they always say like, it's just a numbers game. We're just gonna, we're not gonna play and run to a brick wall. We're gonna go to where it's easier. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I feel. I think when we overcomplicate things, we don't have a plan. For one, I know you don't have a plan. You don't have a plan in the run game. And I don't think you have many run games to begin with. But that's just me.
No, I agree. The way they run the ball, to your point, is confusing. There are times when it does make sense.
Hmm.
You're like, oh, okay, they're flooding the left side of the field. Okay, let's go. Let's fake it here and go here. Like they don't use. Obviously,
Yeah.
we talked about the uses of most motion
Hmm.
and shifts and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not something they incorporate into their run game much, like within reason, right? To try to get some unbalanced looks from the defense to get people out of gaps, just to make people get out of, just create
Look,
spacing,
I
right?
don't see him try to break the rules of the
No,
defense. And
no,
like,
they're not gonna
I,
do that.
like
They're
I
not
just.
gonna do that. And it's so frustrating because, like you said, we see some of the best teams in the league do it, and they just simplify their run game to a point to where it almost feels like a hybrid of a run pass game, because you can do so many things within it, because you are getting people out of the way. Like you are literally making defenses really believe that something is coming over here. So I'm as far as the Cowboys run game, I have a lot of gripes about not just what they're calling and sticking to it and stuff. It's obviously how they handled the running back situation, all of it. I do appreciate Rico.
I
I'm
really do.
enjoying seeing him um, come into his own. He's been waiting a long time for an opportunity to show what he can do. And I think that he gives us some life in the way that he runs the ball, because he's punishing in a sense. Like he's people that is coming down and tackling Rico. Most of the time, they get met with some force. Like he's not some thumper, but you will feel you might need to ice up a little bit after the game. Yeah. So I'm looking at him, and I'm happy for him. But it's not creative enough. It doesn't create conflict, like you were just saying. I wish they would run, for the love of God. I mean, run out a spread. Do can we do anything in the pistol? Anything like I want to see people more. I want to see them run under center more, from under center more.
Oh
It,
yeah. Oh, you speaking? Let's go offset eye. Let you love them tight ends. Put them tight ends out there. Let's
it's just
overload one side. Let's do some misdirection. Let's run it weak. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something
and
else. It's
most
not that difficult
yeah, and most defenses are lighting their ass anymore now anyway.
because they're trying to
Like
defend the pass.
that's what's in, so that's what pisses me off the most. When the playoffs come on, guess what we're gonna see? People running
Running
the
teams.
ball.
Yep.
Yes, we're gonna see people who
But
can run the ball. Like it's so important, and like we just talked about, relating, going back to the game, we saw the difference in just running the ball, even if you don't have a steady plan, but just sticking to it, like you were saying, and what it was able to do for the rest of your offense. So I don't know, I'm sick of them. So
um, what do you? Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
no,
Sorry.
it's
You
okay.
go ahead. You go ahead. No, I lost my question. But I mean, that was the offense. Um, I mean, let's talk about special teams real quick, because that was one of the game. But yeah, talk about this voice your frustration for the special teams. I feel like whether people like it or not, that's been a sneaky big reason why we're like. I felt like 60% of your undisciplinedness happens in special teams. And that pisses me off because they be having whole periods, whole meetings. I don't care. We in like week 12. Everyone should know the rules now, and I don't understand why we still having these problems. Immature problems, like I said, immature problems. But talk about special teams, and then we're gonna move into something else.
Yeah, I mean, the penalties that you've seen at this point, the blocking the backs don't even count. It's just to be expected, whatever. But I feel like they've gotten less of those this year. I will say, I think Bones does understand this new return. Well, clearly he does. Like, he lobbied for it to come here. Um, of the new return rules and stuff. And I think that's why we are seeing Cavante Turpin have more returns. This is his best year return as a returner for the Cowboys. So I will give Bones that. But some of the decision making, the timing in which some of this stuff has been happening, obviously, Christy Scales on Girls Talk Boys Talk, she brought up today that with some of the things that's going on with field goals and punts, you're having different guys out there for protection, because
Hmm.
now TJ Bass, Awesome Richards, Hoffman, they're starting, they're playing.
They
So
were on. I don't think they're normally on punt, right?
no, they're
I
not.
don't, yeah,
They're
yeah.
not only on punt return, but they do go out there. Like Awesome is out there when they kick field goals.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
Okay, yeah, because we got blocked. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so she was just mentioning that, you're having some of those guys that are normally helping out with some of the special teams operations that aren't there. And I don't know. I think another thing about special teams that I try to keep in mind is a lot of those guys on special teams are still finding their way. And I would venture to say that a lot of those guys are more worried about what's going to happen after this season than some of the guys that are on offense or defense, that are steadily on offense or defense. Like there's some stuff there. I just think that there's some pressure there, and
Mhm.
some of their decision making just hasn't been good in these games. But Cavante Turpin's been good.
A lot of hero ball has been going on. Hero ball.
I wouldn't. I mean, you just
So,
see guys out of position. You
mhm.
see guys doing some things they're not supposed to be doing. Like I don't know. It's really weird because special teams has been a strength for the Cowboys.
Mhm.
Like since Bones has gotten here, the Cowboys have been
Yeah, I
pretty.
thought he was a pretty good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and I don't remember them causing this many issues last year. Do you? I don't
The
remember. I
no, the
don't.
bulk of the penalties was. I thought it was offense and defense, right? I mean, they take that back. We was always like they had key penalties because remember Sam was healthy, and a lot of Sam's penalties came in on special teams,
You right.
especially on punt. I don't
You
understand
right.
he was getting all them penalties on punt. Like
You
he
right.
was stop your feet. and then we'll have we'll I forgot the one penalty. We'll always get holding calls.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, like yeah, we did.
No,
Yeah,
you're
it's
right. You're
always been.
right.
We always start with bad field position. Yeah, it was different.
No, no, you 100% correct. It was
Yeah.
bad last year too. Dang.
Mm.
I, I don't remember. I feel like one of these years the special teams was actually good. Dang,
Yeah,
Bones.
I mean, probably when Brian Anger was probably pro bowling, and he was like we were punting a lot, and he was pinning it consistently inside the 20 and the 10. I think we weren't, probably then, but Brian Anger ain't been all pro bowler, right? I mean, and we finally got a good kicker, like a consistent one. So it's been, I would say we never have all three phases clicking. It's
That's
always
fair.
been one or the other.
The more that I think about it, now that you brought up Sam and his tendencies, um, it was, and in fairness to him, he's like a 50 million pound human running full speed as a gunner. Insane. But I will say, like, the more that I think about it, maybe, but that's a project to go see where the special teams ranks have been since Bones has gotten here, because he was taught it. A lot of people spoke highly of him. He came from
Yeah,
the Rams,
remember he
right?
came from the Rams. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember because he had that famous. Ooh, that it was a beautiful drawn out fake punt return that he did with. What was the guy name
That's
we
how
had?
he got you.
Well, yeah, he got me. What's I'm blanking on that fast guy out of West Virginia, the receiver. He came. Remember he played for Dallas.
Tavon.
Yes, yeah, Tavon Austin. Remember, and he had that fake return where like they faked the return on the left side. Like he had two returners. He set back right, and he faked like they set up the return over there, and he bought Tavon Austin by himself. So it made it look like that really the ball was going over there, and Tavon had like two people to beat. It was beautifully drawn. So I don't know what I mean, I probably he's been focusing too much on them damn trick plays. That's what it was, and he lost his sense of the fundamentals, i.e., like
I'm
a
a
Dan Quinn,
look.
focusing too much on the packages and everything like that, and not building your foundational principles. You're gonna wane as a coach over time because you're trying to do the next good thing. Shout out to Joe. Yeah, he from watching from Italy. 4 a.m. Where you watching? Damn, Joe, I appreciate it. You committed. I tell you that. I tell you that. But yeah, I mean, we should check on the special teams where they're the key. I remember, if I remember being in the special teams meeting, they care about well, is Brian Anger getting enough air yards?
Mm-hmm.
And his like is he punting the ball? Because I had funny enough, my old teammate from college, he's in the NFL, like he's a punter. Jamie Gilliam, they call him the Aussie hammer, something like that. But he can punt in the air for like 6 seconds. Yes, he was actually pretty good. Like having a ball in the air for 6 seconds because that's enough time for the gunners to get down there, get up under there. They care about obviously the position. Um, on yeah, I don't know how you can rate the return. I think we got a pretty good kick return team. Um,
Mm-hmm.
kick off team. I don't know if we have a pretty good team because they always get into like the 30 and 35-yard line. So, but
Yeah.
that's just me. And then yeah, so that is a good thing to pay
Yeah.
attention
I'm
to.
gonna do some digging.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do some digging. Okay, go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
So we can move on, to the future now. Have you started any draft content? I know you said you have you looked at the top guys at least. We could scratch the surface.
It's gonna
You
be a
know
no.
what?
Dog.
It's gonna be in no. Okay.
No, I told myself I'm gonna start this week. I kind of glanced a little bit, but I'm very, 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 very like anal about my study, and I just feel like I need this little Thanksgiving time
Hmm.
before I mentally. You gotta know yourself. Like you gotta know your limits. You gotta know your boundaries. I'm very big on mental health, emotional health, and I'm like, you know what, Aisha, we're gonna start after Thanksgiving because I need it.
Yeah, I got tired of watching bad film. I like watching good film. So
I'm gonna need
I
that.
pivoted. I
Uh,
pivoted. But you haven't been evaluating, so I can still frame the questions this way though. How would you how far away do you believe the Cowboys are from being, you know, contending? And if it's possible, and like what are the needs are you seeing, so
hmm.
far? Because I like
Um,
I'm gonna leave with this because I've been on the stands. People been arguing with me. There's been weapons versus trenches back when we was significantly in the tankathon.
mhm.
So but yeah, you can just leave. I'm obviously I'm on the side of trenches, but I will listen to weapons. But go ahead.
Hmm. How far away are they? I think that they are. I think that they are a DT, maybe another one in free agency. A wide receiver in the draft. Sorry to tell you. This tackle class, from what I've glanced at, is meh meh
Yeah,
meh 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 meh
yeah, it's not great.
meh 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 meh. Um, so I mean, if you wanted to go, Lord have mercy, but you need a tackle because I think you might have to have some conversations about.
No, talk about it. Talk about it because nobody want to hear me. Nobody want
I,
to listen
I
to me.
might have to have a conversation because at the very least, Austin Richards is your swing. That's a blessing. Whatever. If you want to bring Udoga back and give him $2, fine. I don't care. At this point, I feel like he's been injured ever since he got here. But I think you need another tackle for several reasons, and I'm not going to say all the reasons, but I think that you might need to look at tackle because Matt will let's go, Josh Ball, those guys are not going to be here next year. They need to go bye-bye. They have brought you absolutely nada, like nothing. They have not brought anything, and I was actually interested to see Matt will let's go, but his shoulder injuries, he cannot punch. He cannot strike. He cannot extend. He cannot. Not with power. Not with power. He can't do it anymore. So you gotta let it go. And Josh Ball ain't ever had NFL power. So they just kept him around. I don't understand. Like, he's eating the snacks. Just get him out of here. So anyway. Anyway. And again,
Nah.
respect to them because they're in the league and we don't do what they do. But
Yeah.
I don't see NFL caliber talent there. So I think you need to tackle because you don't know. I think Guyton has gotten better, but his penalties are still just whooping on you.
And that's mainly because he doesn't have the hands. I think he needs. I will buy. No, I won't. I ain't got the funds. But guy, you getting paid the NFL money. You need to immediately book a boxing gym. Get in there immediately because you need to learn how to just these. I've been saying it since we got you. Your hands are vastly behind.
It's just the
Vastly.
discipline. It's the discipline is in his hands. It's not.
And he's
I
getting
wouldn't even
better.
say it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's just the hands. It's the consistency of where he's hitting. It's like the consistency of the pad level. It's the consistency of the grip strength.
Yes.
All those things. It's not consistent because you'll watch him win reps. You'll watch him.
Yeah, he'll win, but like he'll also revert back. Like I call him, he like a spider. He'll or like what's that snake called? Start with a C. I don't know what the snake, but I'm basically a constrictor. Yeah, constrictor. He'll try to.
Okay.
No, constrict. It's like a boa constrictor. He'll try to surround you and basically like corral you until the end of the rep. Like I see that too much, too much, and like he's his hands be on the outside. Like he has phenomenal feet. He can mirror phenomenally, but I feel like him corralling. That's what I see. But y'all, thank you, Suwa. Thank you because people have really been coming at me and my I'm like it's like probably me watching like some like we very few. I don't just want to pick a tackle flat out. People believe that we should stop picking offensive linemen because we've been throwing resources at it. And I went back in history, did a whole video. We have actually not been throwing premier resources at it, and it's showing in who we pick. And it's not even that. When you're building a roster, certain positions get priority. I'm sorry. And we're going to be losing 2 caliber offensive linemen this offseason. Possibly. Definitely 1, but 2 caliber offensive linemen. We cannot, just because we picked them last year and they're 7th rounders, we cannot just stash them in and be like, hey, go play starting right tackle. You're good. That is not how offensive linemen work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying go get the top tackle. I know the tackles are not strong, but I'm saying this: y'all who are deliberately, blatantly, just ignoring the position because we've been picking it for the last couple of years. That's where I draw the line. That's where I
Yeah,
draw the line.
yeah. I
Bec-
mean, it's. I think it all depends on what the board is, right? Like last year was a very unique year in the sense is that that tackle class was insane,
Insane.
insane. But the reality is that there might be two, maybe three. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
But
well, I got.
let's
I got.
say,
I ain't deep down on O lineman yet. I feel you. Like I'm
well,
finna.
let's just say four on the high side, if
Hmm.
even, for tackles in the first round. You need to be able to find talent, offensive line talent in the mid rounds.
Yeah, in
You
the mid
don't
rounds.
have to always have to put a first round pick into that. Like you don't. Especially for the reason that you just mentioned is that typically that position takes time to develop. It takes time for them to get in their grown man body and take some development. I would much rather get that's just me. I would much rather get a wide receiver that I know is gonna come out. He is gonna still have to grow,
Yeah.
but baby, if you run fast, you run good routes. You gonna get open sometimes. Like it's fine. I would rather deal with developing that than just flat out taking an offensive line every year. And again, I
Yeah.
just think it depends on how the board falls.
Hmm.
So I get what people are saying, like they're tired of it just always being a first rounder for the offensive line. But it just went last year, exception to me. To me, it was an exception. Now, I mean, I freaked out when I seen them pick Guyton a little bit. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
because
He
I
was
was
not.
worried about his hands.
Yeah.
I was just worried about his little paws.
I was saying, look, you pick a tackle. My board went from like the top and all the way probably down to Barton. I wasn't, he wasn't in my like range of picking. I was mainly heavy receiver last year. I think I wanted Brian Thomas and he went right before us, and I think we panicked and we didn't panic, but we did the right thing to trade back. I love that, but
I,
I want.
oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No,
I
go
know,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
no,
Go
you paused. I gotta. No, I'm sorry.
go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I wanted Brian Thomas. I mean, like I said, I would be fine with Barton. Graham Barton is doing pretty well as well, but um, I just want to like point out Eli. Like, we can't think O linemen grow on trees, y'all. Like, that's why we're always about drafting them. It's not that many good O linemen in the league. It's not that many trustful O linemen in the league.
And ain't
The,
nobody gonna give him up. Ain't
they,
nobody gonna give him
that
up.
thank you. And when they are good, no one is going to let them walk out the door because they're that rare. I feel like receivers and like corners, they're diva positions. You know what I'm saying? Like there's it's guys who are like wide receiver four that feel like they can be a wide receiver one. It's gonna always be a rotation. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like yeah, I want to play. I want to take a weapon early on as well, but actually take that back. I want to take I'm really wanting a DT or like a running back. So, but yeah.
A birdie told me that this is a good DT class.
Oh, it's a very good DT class.
I'm excited.
Very good. That's why I want one. I don't. It's not a Mozzie. It's actually filled with athletic guys who. These guys are heavy, which I love, and they're dancing bears. Dancing
Oh,
bears.
not
And I
dancing bears.
they're dancing bears. I'm talking about guys are 350 and they're moving better than the linebacker behind them. Like
Get
it's
ready.
yeah, like so. I want one of these DTs. Like
But
I really do.
I think that that's what the NFL. I think the NFL is about to do the thing it does. The way I think that yes, Mike Solari is a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You already know that. I've been you've been Eli. If you've been watching me, I've been calling for his head since the Giants game. People called me. People said I was early. I was like, no. I knew he was a bad coach when I'm seeing my rookie and my veteran tackle lose the exact same way. I'm like,
Yeah,
because the rookie is asking the veteran for advice, and if the veteran is messing up, he getting his advice from the coach. And what I'm seeing,
I
the
literally
veteran,
same thing.
yep,
Yep.
if the veteran is doing and losing inside, setting flat every time, when we're doing gap protections, half man slides, and the Giants were smart. They know we were sliding to Dexter Lawrence every time, and they were overloading, which was very smart, like putting a 1 and a 3 on the same side. Now in the half
Right.
man slides, like the guard has to come on the slide, and the tackle is all alone. But still going against Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns was jump setting every single time. I'm like, dog, that is a changeup, not your regular thing. If I'm seeing that from my tackle, that's a veteran every time, that's Solari teaching.
I agree. And for me, I think I said it was about a month ago. I said, listen, baby, if all your kids, all your students is failing a test, baby, you must not be that good of a teacher.
And it's not even that. Like a teacher,
you gotta look.
You gotta be getting better at least. They gotta be better than the last test. We got
And
17 tests.
they don't look better. That was my biggest thing is, and again, it does that. Those are things that people don't talk about. Is like every coach is different. They're gonna ask you to do different hand technique. They're gonna have different things they want. And it pisses me off too because I understand you can't go combo and duo all game.
Mm-hmm.
But this offensive line thrives at that. They did it. They did it yesterday, and they were able to get a lot of push doing so. I'm like, just do what your guys do well. If they're not super powerful,
But
what's up?
but I tie that back into Mike though because I feel
Yeah.
like we had selective reps.
Mhm.
Like he was if we run the ball 20 times a game and five of them are duos and what's the names like that's why when they do them you see them tripping on each other's feet. Like I see BB, I saw our first couple of games every play they was scaring me, and
I
I'm
was
like
stressed out.
yeah, like and it's like
It
that
was
because
so
they're
clunky.
still trying to figure it out. So clunky,
It
so
was
clunky.
so
And I'm
clunky.
like y'all should have been playing in the preseason. That's what it sounds like but that's just me because it's so tell me y'all ain't been going hard in practice. I'm just saying because like these steps, this is all board drill. This is day one. This is immature problems. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. You feel me? So, but I appreciate you, man. What a conversation! What a conversation, y'all. Thank you to everyone who came in the chat. Last chance. Make sure to like, subscribe. I got a channel. I think I put it in the description below. She don't really be on there. She big time. You feel me? She be on
I
DLL.
no,
Oh,
don't.
she mainly active during draft season, right?
Yeah, I mean, I might get on there do some things during draft season. Listen,
Okay,
man, I can only mentally and emotionally, I can only handle so much right now.
man. Yeah,
I
man.
just it's hard. It's so difficult for me to do so many things at one time. It just, let my ADHD make it. Let me make it. But it is something that I do think that I'm learning how to do things within my new job to make my channel better when I do decide to pour into it again. So I appreciate y'all support regardless, but I am about to get active with draft stuff. So be looking for me. I'm sure I'll be everywhere doing shows with people. Maybe we can catch up again.
Look, hey, I'm down. Hey, appreciate everyone for coming in. Y'all know I just dropped my first draft video today. I went over Mason Graham, who are pretty much in that upper echelon, who I want in that first round, because we're pretty much in his range. That's my first guy. Check it out. I'm actually going to start doing more film breakdown on college. I was scared before because of the copyright, but no, I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna learn how to finagle it and do everything like that. But if you made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, we're 30 subscribers away from the big 1K, and I appreciate all of you, man. We appreciate 2i from coming on. And remember, y'all, we do this for the first one's blame and the last one's congratulated. Peace.